All right, it's not often that we break news here on the Rappin' with Reusse segment, but let's fire up the sounder here, boys. Well, it's supposed to be firing from my computer, but it's not. So I'll just say breaking news. Let's go to the number one Twins insider, Patrick Reusse. Tell us who is starting at Yankee Stadium on Wednesday.
Louie Varland, the kid from North St. Paul and Concordia University in St. Paul. He and his brother both pitched there. And the Varland boys, very successful baseball pitchers, but the Varland sisters were even more famous for their. One of them was a former Susie, and I think they're aunts now. Susie and what's the other one? They were Super Bowl. They were fast pitch softball superstars. One of them was the Metro Pitcher of the Year. I think it was Susie, and their dad. His dad said that back in the old days, when the North St. Paul paper, if he'd ever get a hit in a game, they would refer to him as the brother of the Varland sisters. So the aunts are a couple of were a couple of famous pitchers too. So it's in the family genes. One thing about Louie, wrestler, in addition to a baseball pitcher, you don't find many. That combo, you get the hockey baseball player, you get that combination often. You don't get the wrestler baseball pitcher.
Is he the only pitcher in the big leagues now with cauliflower ear?
I don't know, but he I talked about, I've actually never met him, but I talked to him last year. I did a column in early October last year when they named him the pitcher of the year. And really good kid, and he and his brother, he grew up with the older brother like 18 months maybe. She told me she had 3 of them in diapers at one time. 2 of the Kim's, the mom, she had 3 of them in diapers at one time. The 2 brothers and the sister were all born within a 3-year period, and but Gus and Louie, best of friends and fierce rivals with each other growing up, to be the best, to be the other one. And Gus got drafted higher than Louie, but Louie was the first one of the brothers to throw 100. So he had that going for him. He's got a really live arm. He's been spotty in St. Paul. He was really good the first time. I think he's had only 3 starts there, 4 starts. And he's a couple of times he's given up like 4 hits, 3 runs. So hopefully he'll be able to throw it over. He's got good stuff, and that's you take the mound in the Bronx and the second hitter, or maybe your face in his Aaron Judd. He's got a chance to get your heart beating, I would think. So, but why not? What would you want to see Aaron Sanchez again? That was the option, right? So
yeah, this is the right thing. Bring a live arm, and the guy throws 100 miles an hour. Right, he's been clocked at 100 miles an hour.
He has thrown at 100, and he was a little kid who kind of they got him in the strength programs and all that stuff, and he's gotten big and strong, and I don't think he's terribly tall, but he's got a live arm. What the heck? There's nothing to lose right now with the starting pitching rotation and what a disaster Tyler Mahle getting knocked sitting down is, isn't it?
If only it was foreseeable. If only you could have Googled Tyler Mahle arm 2 weeks before the trade to see. Yeah. That's the problem. I feel like the internet in the Twins front office is not. It doesn't.
It's dial-up. It's dial-up, and they're always getting logged off, and they're pissed off about it.
Yeah, it was. It's they gave up this steer kid that they gave up. Now I was all on into it. I did.
Yeah. Well, you don't have the medical report in front of you.
No, I was all into it. But this steer kid, his first game in Cincinnati, had 4 hits and hit a home run. Right? Yeah. They were all excited.
Yes, he's been good so far.
They said he's like the next Dozier or something. But anyway, the Paddock thing. I think the Paddock thing was worse don't you?
Because it was a partially torn UCL.
Yeah, yes, right, yeah.
Which means he's going to need Tommy John surgery.
But doesn't, all of a suddenly losing velocity, doesn't that sound like the famous TOS, baby? Doesn't that sound like thoracic outlet syndrome? That's what happens to these guys, doesn't it?
Could be.
All of a sudden, you suddenly lose Phil Hughes,
And that's the thing. Yeah,
he goes from
2024 is going to be great, you guys. You guys don't get it.
Control. They're all
2024. We're going to kick some ass.
Team control.
That's right.
But on one side, you can't sit here and say now we're just opening up the rant that we did for an hour yesterday on the show. But you can't sit here and say, oh my gosh, look how unlucky we are with these injuries. Look at the rotation. It's like, well, but on the other side, you willingly took on the risk of Paddock and Malley to be huge parts of your rotation. You knew that they were hurt.
How much more would Rodon have cost you than this guy? Because the Giants didn't trade him, so they must have really been wanting a lot, right? But
yeah.
Wasn't he he's been pitching great again for the Giants. The only guy they got that doesn't stink. But I don't know. It's let's face it. Any other division, we wouldn't have to be worrying about this, would we?
No.
Somebody told me today the closest they'd be in any other division is 11 games or something like that. And they're, because all the division leaders, even in the NL Central, which is no good, St. Louis is winning, 80% of their games the last month. So they're, it wouldn't be an issue anywhere else. But hey, good luck to the kid. What the heck?
So explain to me how McGill throws that pitch to Judge. That's all I want to know from yesterday.
I don't know.
I don't think he was trying to throw it there, Judd. He
was in the car. He was a bad breaking ball, was it?
He hung a breaking ball literally in the middle of the plate on a 3-1 count. I don't think he was trying to throw it there.
Yes. Well, but hey, I can see why they wanted to trick him because McGill throws 100, right? So let's go to his third best pitch against the best hitter in the world, okay, and throw him a breaking ball. I assume I was in the car and I just missed the home run. So and then Provost did a bit of a rant on the number of home runs the bullpen has allowed this year.
Second most in baseball.
But I did not know that it was a hanger. So, yeah.
I think he was trying to throw a ball and he threw it over the plate. I think that's what happened. Because he's not that good.
I hate their approach to pitching with these hard throwers. The only thing McGill's got going for him is he throws 100, right? That's the only thing he's got going for him. Throw 100 at the letters. Hope he misses it. That's how you get him out, right? And then you throw him a breaking ball. Unbelievable. That guy's he's gonna hit what, 65 probably? What's he got? Maybe
he's currently tracking for I think 63 or 4.
63 or 4.
But he could also, he's hot right now, but he could also rip off, he could have a 3-homer game or something. He could hit 70 home runs.
As recently as tonight, he could have a 3-homer game, right? As soon as tonight, it could be that he could have a 3-homer game. Who we running out there tonight? I haven't looked. Who we running out there tonight?
Is it Joe Ryan tonight?
Oh, Joe Ryan
tonight, yes.
Okay, I can't complain about him. He's okay. Joe Ryan's okay. Sonny Gray. Now we had to push Sonny Gray back because he's pitching Thursday, right? Sonny now, supposedly.
Yes. Yep.
What do you think the odds are, Rocco? I was watching a game last night, and was it Cleveland? Who was it? I'm not sure. But somebody slid into third base, and he kind of got up gimpy, right, for this team. And it was shocking that the manager and the trainer didn't suddenly burst out of the dugout and sprint to third base and beg the guy to leave the game. It was amazing.
Take them all out. Take them all out. Now forfeit the game. If that's what you got to do, just forfeit the game. We're done.
They just let him kind of limp around and grab himself.
It's
the
terrible.
third base coach didn't even ask him if he was okay. He just
Heathens.
I can't remember who it was, Jose Ramirez or somebody. And he got up and they said, I'm not going to beg him to leave the game. It was very shocking not to see that. It's amazing. That's why Sonny Gray probably won't even. They'll probably have him skip an entire start, don't you think? Because he looked like he tweaked that hammy or whatever. Man alive, it's a mess. They just can't compete with this lineup. You can't play with this lineup. I mean, you're three deep, right? You're three deep. Arise, Correa, and Miranda, and then it takes a miracle. Then it takes a miracle to do anything the next six batters. You can't do it. The Polanco, that's a disaster not having him in the lineup. And, now he's got into that's our culture, right? He's got into our culture. How you feeling today? Or, hey, I could play. Yes, but are you 120%? No, okay, I can't play. Okay.
And he's on the IL now, right? It's not even a day-to-day thing anymore with him.
Said him now. Well, now they're saying he's got the same thing that Buxton has, right? Tendonitis. I'd never heard of tendonitis in the patella, and now it's an epidemic. Their two best players have it.
Are we just being more specific about, because it used to be knee tendonitis, and now we're just being more specific with where in the knee?
A lot of it is, diagnosis. Sure, that's true. We are being more specific.
This might be a hot take, but if you take Aaron Judge out and you compare the other 8 Yankees hitters to the Twins 9 hitters, I actually like the Twins lineup on paper better than the Yankees lineup yesterday. But they have Aaron Judge to make up for the rest of the.
What is going on with all their guys? Where are all their guys? Donaldson's terrible, but they got a bunch of kids play. They had Marwin Gonzalez playing first base yesterday.
How about Kiner Falefa and Marwin Gonzalez both hitting? Did they both hit home runs in that game? Didn't they? Yes.
Yeah.
I was watching a Yankee game 2 nights ago, or before the Twins got there. That game against Tampa on Sunday, when the ump screwed Tampa on strike 3 to end the game. Vic Carapazza, one of my favorites, rung up Yandy Diaz with runners on second.
It was low, yeah.
It was low, but Michael Kay, who's pretty candid, does the play-by-play. They were on the shortstop. They were on. He's kicking too many. He said, that you can't put up with this. He's been booting a few lately, and they're down on him. So,
but coming up next, we're going to show you. We're going to take you inside the crib of Isaiah Kiner Falefa. Yeah. Look at the condo he has in Midtown.
You should see his fantasy football draft is better than Correa's. It's incredible.
Yeah. I have never participated in one, and I would finish last because I don't pay enough attention to, who's doing well for all the other teams. I could maybe name 8 running backs in the league I'd like to have, by the way, and what happens in fantasy football now? Are running backs devalued in fantasy football just like they are?
No, they're actually still
they score the touchdowns.
They score the touchdowns. They get you the 6-point touchdown. But the problem is they're not getting as many carries as they used to.
And they aren't making 100 yards, which is bonus points or something like that.
Yeah, in some leagues.
Look at Reusse.
You know way more than you're letting on. It sounds like.
You are participating. I got a feeling you're trying to cover for it. We go to Golden Valley where Pat Royce's in his 14th fantasy league. What a fantasy league player!
I do love the angst that people have on those days, though. Now I can see if you're in the one that Tommy Pham was in, where you're all throwing 50,000 in. I can see how you get upset about that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it for $100 a year, what the hell? What is
Jock Peterson?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? It a $50,000 fantasy league?
That's what it was.
Trout's the commissioner, man.
Basically.
Mike Trout's commissioner.
Yeah, it was fantastic. They suspended him 3 days, 3 games.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys?
I think you ought to have the freedom of having a internal strife based on something not occurring on the field, right?
At batting practice?
Yeah, that's fine. Who cares?
Did you guys, by the way, see this came out this morning in The Athletic? Joe Madden just cutting open a vein on baseball front offices overuse of analytics.
Oh,
It's
good.
like he's talking directly. I mean, he's not talking about the Twins, but it's like he's talking directly about the Twins. He goes on. It's a great read if you want to read the whole thing, but he says, I'm not here to beat up on anybody. And it's not just the organizations I've been with. It's a trend, and it's not going to reverse anytime soon because it's a competition among front offices to get credit for having the most advanced progressive methods and have them work and be copied by others. They're all in competition, and they have lost the art of the game.
It's interesting because, of course, the poster child for this is Tampa Bay, where he came from, right? I mean,
yes.
And if you're gonna defend analytics and taking pitchers out early and everything, your example A would be Tampa Bay, right? That would be the Rays would be your example A of trying to get by with lesser pitchers, lesser personnel by using all kinds of them, and that Tampa Bay would be the place. But I'm not anti numbers, but you cannot. I'm going to go again. You cannot decide at 2 p.m. when you're going to take Dylan Bundy out of the ball game. You got to watch the bleeping game before you say that. And that guy, he's been pretty damn good lately.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
He has.
I mean, for like 6 weeks.
I'm so glad you brought this up. We talked about this yesterday. And this is part of the reason why they lose a game like they did against the. Now you're gonna have to score more than 2 runs, but in that game on Sunday, Dylan Bundy is as good as Dylan Bundy is ever going to be through 5 innings. He gave up. It was like 3 base runners allowed. He's at 65 pitches. He is smooth sailing through 5 scoreless innings. And they preemptively decide, well, the 3rd time through is coming up, so we have to take him out of the game. And then Griffin Jax comes in for an 8-pitch smooth sail inning. So now you're through. You've got 2 pitchers that are absolutely on their A game, and you still need 3 pitchers to get through the rest of the game, leaving you yesterday with McGill and Pagan in a close game at Yankee Stadium because you burned 4 relievers on Sunday.
Yeah, that's my old argument with Gardy. I told you guys all the time. Gardy'd say I had to use my whole bullpen. I'd say, no, you didn't. You used them for 4. You used 4 for 4 innings. You could have used 2 for 4 innings.
Yeah.
But Bundy had a fantastic breaking ball that game. I mean, it was really good. Nobody was hitting it, and watch. How do they know that he gets hammered the 3rd time through? He hasn't pitched the 3rd time through in 6 weeks. He maybe was getting hammered back when he was getting hammered the first 2 times through the order. He might have been getting hammered too, but you can't. There's no numbers to go by anymore because he never goes to the 3rd time through the order. There's no numbers for the last 6 weeks when he's pitching good. We don't know what he'd do to the 3rd time through the order because he doesn't pitch.
Yeah, and we're so scared of the top of the 3rd time through the order that we wouldn't want to let them try and navigate through the 3 toughest hitters to get to the easy part of the 3rd time through the order. So we just avoid it and we burn the bullpen on a nightly basis. I mean,
and Griffin Jax, Griffin Jax probably because of that has to face the toughest hitters. He's probably facing the toughest hitters in the league, right? Because he's always the guy that gets stuck with the 6th inning. And you're right. That also used to drive me nuts when the guy cruised through a relief inning and they hooked him anyway.
Duran did this Friday night. Same thing. Duran threw 11 pitches Friday night out.
I don't mind it as much with him because he's throwing 100 and he had the year before he pitched 12 innings or something. And I think I think you should be saving bullets with that guy. But, but again, if you can win the game, which you have to win, I'd run him out there another time and then say, well, see you Tuesday in New York or something. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, if it's they've talked for 100 years about whether it was a high stress inning or low stress innings. If they're low stress innings, then use them again.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's but bottom line, do you really want to send this team into the playoffs and have them push the losing streak to 20? I mean, who are they going to beat? They're not going to beat anybody. I mean, Baltimore would be running away with this division. Baltimore would be, they're 11 or 12 over, right? At least. So.
Yeah, I think they're a handful over. Yeah. They're 7 games over right now.
They got swept by the Jays yesterday.
Yeah, in a very difficult division. I mean, the Reds. People rag on the Red Sox. The Red Sox are 500.
Well, they're hot. They've won ever since the Twins. They came in here and got bushwhacked by the Twins. I don't think they've lost. So, but yeah, if here's I mentioned this. What would this division look like this year record wise if they were playing each other 13 times instead of 19? The first place team would be 54-70. I mean, it would be like when the Seattle Seahawks won the division at 7-9 and got a home game, right, in the playoffs and beat New Orleans. It'd be like that. Are we ramped up for the Packers yet, or are we kind of easing into it? I think I get the impression we're easing into it because we took that week off between.
We're still. I think once Wednesday, Thursday hits, then we're ready. We're always ready and lurking. We're gonna pick the Vikings schedule today on Purple Daily.
Ooh. Okay.
So we'll don't give us your win total now. We'll get it from you later in the week. All right. Just think on it for a couple days.
Tell me how many of their starters are going to get hurt. That would make.
I'd like to know that myself.
That would make it a lot
well, they
easier.
Avoided by not playing starters in the preseason. Yeah. They at least avoided preseason ACL tears and things like that.
You agree with me that we are entering this season league-wide with less information about teams than we've ever had in our lives. Less information because nobody played. And we have no information. All these guys that were saying, boy, he looked pretty good. He might be, he never played against a first teamer,
It's more fun though, Pat. It's more fun. Intrigue. We got intrigue. This league. Perfection, man.
Sounds to me like you're saying the league is wide open in 2022.
What you're saying. First Super Bowl appearance in 77, baby.
Well, it's always wide open because you don't know who's going to get hurt. You can be, the Packers, the big bad Packers. They don't have any receivers and 2 of them are hurt. Yeah, they don't have anybody.
Bakhtiari might play, though.
Who?
On Sunday. But Bakhtiari, for like the first time in 2 years or something, might actually play.
What's the over and under on games for him? 8?
I would probably take the under based on
his back will just blow up eventually, but that's fine.
Then you got Tom Brady is reportedly in the fight of the century with his wife the last month. Really? That's being reported by the tabloids. Like that, the reason why he took a bunch of time off is because him and Giselle are. Giselle is not happy with.
He took her to the Bahamas during that break, right? Personal time, weren't they at the Bahamas?
Not sure how much quality time they spent together in the Bahamas, but if you're gonna fight, there's worse places to be.
Wasn't he trying to get to Miami or something?
Yes.
And then when that fell through, I guess he doesn't have the guts to say, okay, now I shouldn't have come back. I guess he doesn't have, because I don't think he wanted to come back and play in front of for a bad Tampa Bay team with a terrible offensive line. Do you at age 45?
Once his offensive line started eroding, I think he probably thought twice about it.
He thought he was going to end up playing a last year in Miami, but I guess it is. What is it with quarterbacks? They're strange. I mean, the two legends that we got playing now, strange dudes, man. Brady and Rodgers, and then apparently the kid in Arizona is a goofball of the first magnitude.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's a little bit of a weirdo. I think the older you get, the more money you make, the weirder you. I mean, this Tom Brady thing is probably headed for a 2010 Brett Favre situation.
Yes, it does seem like it, doesn't it? And but I do like the quarterback in Arizona, Murray, who would rather play TikTok than while
You don't play TikTok, you become obsessed with it, like I am.
Call of Duty too.
While they're breaking down
You got to go on TikTok, Pat.
game in the meeting room, he's playing TikTok. You gotta like that guy.
Do not criticize TikTok until you've played it, man. I'm going to tell you right now. Play TikTok.
This show has never sounded older than the last 30 seconds.
I would
play
never,
TikTok. It's funny.
You don't play TikTok. You
watch it. It's like Twitter.
Well, yeah, I play Twitter
with pictures.
Too. You play Twitter too, don't you? You play with people on Twitter.
I'll tell you right now.
Yes, I definitely. Play Twitter. I don't know what you guys do, but I play Twitter. Yes.
By the way, I was down in Faribault yesterday for the Buckman Billy Goats and the Nisswa Lightning and the Class C title out of the same league. The victory up there by Brainerd and Little Falls in that area. Nisswa really swings a bat. But guess who was running the beer cave at Faribault? Reaver's mom.
Reaver's mom.
Reaver's mom, Terry. And they kept an accounting of the number of beers purchased by each team. And then it was a contest. And the Watertown Red Devils on Sunday, now they had 2 games, their fans bought 737 beers. And but yesterday, the Buckman Billy Goats got beat 12-3, but they won the beer trophy. They won the beer trophy from the beer cave because their fans drank more beer than the Nisswa fans.
And that's the one that really matters.
In town team baseball, there is nothing more important than beer. And
yes.
But boy, those 2 places, Dundas and Faribault, they did pretty good, but they got some bad breaks, man. They got all the local teams ended up getting, all the close ones, the Watertowns and those, and they had teams from way up north winning the first weekend. Ada beat somebody, and Burbank, which I never heard of, beat somebody. So the state amateur baseball tournament is based a lot on the location of the towns that win, and they got unlucky in that area this year that the local teams got beat by a lot of remote places. But they had a nice crowd yesterday. They probably had 600 there.
That'll get you a lot of beer revenue. Those $3
One other
cans.
thing I should mention: I was at St. John's Saturday for Whitewater. 12,000 people.
Wow!
For a college football opener up there in the valley. It was the nicest day in history, but there was some beer consumed there too, I might add.
I bet.
Yes. Yeah. The St. John's beat them 24-10. They're pretty good.
Nice.
So
all right, well, enjoy Garrett Cole and Joe Ryan tonight on national television, Pat.
Ooh, well, it's better than our last national television display, which is Rocco going out there and relieving his position player. Is that a first? Was that
I've never seen it.
I've
never seen it before.
With the other guy pitching a no-no, you think they were peeved but hey, congratulations to Dylan Cease going after Louie Varland instead of taking AJ's advice to automatically walk him. Pitch to the guy. When it's 13-0, you're not pitching around people. I don't care if it's a no-hitter or not. We have to protect the sanctity of the game. Damn it.
Yes. Joe Madden and Patrick Reusse linked arm in arm, protecting the sanctity of baseball. All right, Pat, we'll talk to you later.
See you. Goodbye.
All right, let's wrap in with Reusse, Mackey, and Judd, presented by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around for a long, long time, based in Owatonna, Minnesota, helping businesses just protect against risks on the horizon to elevate the success of your business. Find out a full list of industries Federated protects at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.